I want to introduce Josh Walker. He is Beck Technology's lead sales engineer, a savvy pre-construction pro in his own right, and also a big proponent and an expert in our DESTINI platform. So Josh, I am going to hand this over to you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you everybody for taking 15 minutes out of your afternoon to join us. So what we'll do at a high level in our webinar today is we'll take an estimate from DESTINI Estimator. We're going to publish that estimate to bid date where we can do some bid leveling. We'll do a little bit of leveling, then we'll go over the two new features that we've added into bid date and how we expect those to be helpful for our clients. So our first step for a quick introduction, if you haven't seen Estimator before, over on the left-hand side, we have our WBS properties. We have a property set up called bid package. As we think of this, it doesn't have to be called bid package. Really the goal of whatever property we choose is to create our tab sheets, our leveling sheets, our green sheets, however you refer to the sheet where we're going to level bids that we receive from the market. So step one to creating a project in bid day is we're going to select the create project button. That will pop up a wizard for us. Here we're going to select on the date that our project is going to bid. And now we're able to choose a WBS property or a column of data to create our bid packages by. So you'll be able to select any WBS property that exists in your estimates, and you'll receive all the values over on the left-hand side. You can choose to push all the values that are in your estimate. You know, if we're working on a negotiated project and we're only going to put out part of our project to bid, we can choose the individual packages that we would like to push to bid day as well. One of the two new features that we're going to go over once we get to bid day is the ability to reorder line items. So those line items will be able to be reordered within these folders. So you get two WBS properties to help you further break down any of your bid packages. So we're going to go look at concrete. And within concrete, there will be a building breakdown and there will be a master format level 2 provided by the two groupings that we selected here. Our next step will be to push the create button. That will publish our bid to bid day for us. Once we've done that, we'll go to bid day. We'll refresh our page. And now we have our estimate published to bid day. So one thing as we think of the flow of creating a bid in bid day, feature we see our clients commonly use is they'll invite users. We're going to invite Casey in this example to concrete. These would be internal employees to you. So in this example, Casey is a Beck Technology employee. Assigning a user to a bid package makes them a contributor. So that way they're assigned to that package, they can work on it. But as if you as the admin, we'll go over this in just a moment, want to be able to lock that package. We say, hey, we're happy with the concrete number. We don't want our contributors to be able to make changes. We'll have the ability to do that. So this is our summary sheet. So this is your first time seeing bid day. This is going to be the summary. So if we were all in our bid room or room or running it on a virtual meeting, this is most likely the screen that's being shared. We'll come back to this screen in just a second. Bid day is live updating. So when one user makes a change, all of the other users should see it within approximately a second or two. So we're going to go level concrete. We'll go over the two new features that we have, and then we'll also go over the changes that those features make to our summary page. So if we click here, it takes us back to our summary page. We're going to do that in just a second. Normally, estimators, PMs, whoever you have working with you on bid day are covering more than one package. So users have the ability to easily jump between packages here. They don't have to go back to our summary page. Two buttons in the top right. So the first one is our padlock. The padlock has to do with permissioning. So if we think back, Casey's our contributor for concrete. If we as the admin wanted to lock it and have Casey no longer be able to make changes, all we have to do is click the padlock, and now only ourselves or other admins can make changes. Then we'll have a notes field. So the notes field can really be any piece of information that we would like. What's unique about that notes field is it'll have the ability to show up on our summary page. So it's a great place for little blurbs to communicate with the rest of the team. Now we have our line items coming from Estimator. So these are the line items that were in our concrete package in the estimate that we looked at the beginning. So feature number 1, beside all of your line items, you'll see these 6 little squares over on the left-hand side. A very heavily requested feature was, I want to be able to reorder my line items in any order that I choose to, so that I can have them in a sequence that they'll occur or a sequence that I would like them to, for the way it makes sense to one particular client as they expect to level their bids. So now if you left click and hold on any line item, you can move that line item to wherever you would like to in the order. So if we left click and hold on concrete pumping, we can move it to the bottom, and now it will be the last line item. So you'll have the ability to reorder any line item on any bid package for the order that you would like to see those. The second piece of functionality that we added has to do with bidders. So we'll add some bidders in. And as we've created our bidders, a couple things will appear. So like before, each time that we create a bidder, we'll receive excuse me, a notes field, so we can have a call log or things that we've discussed with that particular bidder. And we'll also have a document section, so we can drag over their PDF, so we can have a repository of their bids to be able to easily find that information later. As we look at our bidders, 2 additional pieces of information have been added. So first, we'll now have a bid status, so we can, as we're going through the day, we can say, we've requested this bid, they've sent us a bid. We can also track late bids, so we'll go over that a little bit later as well. We'll also now have the ability to control what the program shows us on the front page as our second place bidder. So for reliable, we'll enter their value. If it's your first time seeing Estimator before, or excuse me, Bid Day, everywhere we see the yellow and white hash, it's a line item from Estimator looking to be leveled. When I say leveled, the program's looking for us to say, is this included? Yes or no. So we'll treat reliable as if they were the perfect trade partner. They included everything that we wanted them to. As we look at or, as we work our way down, we'll say they included the majority of the things that we wanted them to, but they didn't include a couple pieces. So if we select M by either hitting M on our keyboard or M on our dropdown, the program will either plug the lowest sub breakout, that's what it will look for first, or in the event we don't have one, it will plug our as estimated, and we'll have the ability to override either one of those. So to select a subcontractor, we'll also give Concrete Limited for our example of it as well. To select a sub, we're going to click on their name. So now that is the sub that we've selected. So there's now a trophy that'll say this is who we've selected, first place. The first place sub will always be on the left and be highlighted in blue. Another piece of functionality that's been added is we'll have our second place. So second place becomes very important as we head back to our summary page. So on our summary page, there are 4 optional columns. We're going to focus on one for the purposes of our time together today, and that is our graph. So it's going to show us our spread to second place. So it's going to populate second and say, or it's 141,000. So that's what it's going to put as our variance. A piece of functionality heavily requested was to be able to control who we treated as our second place bidder. So now we have the ability to click and hold on Concrete Limited or any other bidder that we choose. And we can say, hey, this is who second place should be. So that way, when we go back to our summary page, as we're reviewing things, now we can see the second place bidder, which is Concrete Limited, that we wanted to carry. So this gives the user full control over who is shown in the second place analysis, and also allows group, if you get a late bid or if there is a bid that you've received that you want to be able to show your client on your leveling sheet, but not have it included as your variance, you can have them over to the right and have the group that you would truly like to have shown as second place in the correct place for you. That brings us to the end of our new functionality for today. For a quick recap, we have the ability now to move line items on our summary page, which should be on our bid tab, so that you can reorder those in any way that you would like to, either in sequence or another ordering structure. You'll also now have the ability to order your subcontractors, controlling who shows up in your second place analysis, and we'll have a status for each bidder so that we can track those across across iterations of our bid. Julie, were there any questions that I can answer?
I haven't had any questions come in yet, but Josh, thank you so much for showing us this new functionality. I'm going to give folks just a few, about 30 seconds to see if there's going to be any questions that come in before we shut down. Like I said, it's a very quick webinar. And again, for those that may have joined a little bit late, this is getting recorded, and so the recording will go out to everyone regardless of whether you were able to attend or not today. I do have a question that's come in. The question is, what are the I and M drop-down boxes next to the included?
Wonderful question. So there are 6 cost categories in bid day. So there's general requirements, included, missing, owner, risk, and sub. Those cost categories will be shown at the bottom of your page. So it'll track those totals for your bidders. So you can see the makeup of each one on their bid tab and also on your summary page.
Awesome, thanks for answering that. The questions are flowing in. I will say if we are not able to get to them today during the recording, we will follow up with you after today and make sure that those are answered. How is bid day handling GCs?
Great question. So bid day, we didn't cover it in the beginning, but in your setup, you can have a package. So in this example, we called it general conditions. General conditions will be a unique package. It is not looking for bidders, so you're not going to sub out your general conditions. It will bring over all the line items that you assign to that package. You'll have the ability to make quantity and unit price changes, and that will instantly update the cost of your bid.
Awesome. I'm going to ask one more question to make sure that we stay within time allotment. Do you manually have to update the status of each bidder, or does that come from an invitation system?
Currently, you'll have to update the status manually. Today, it's not integrating with an invitation to bid system.